My physical body, I had Hep C for the last 20 years. My enzymes, I understand, are getting a little high, I believe they're called. And I had some x-rays and some ultrasounds done. And there's some stuff going on with my enzymes in my liver. And also there's a spot or something on my spleen that we will have an MRI for. And also my feet and my hands, especially in winter for my hands. My fingers go white. I got Rayland's disease or something, whatever it's called. But my feet have been going numb for about 6 months now, so I'm quite concerned about all this. I'm quite positive about the spleen and that. My doctor's sending me for things and looking at getting a license for hemp oil and starting to ingest that. So I'd like to know a little bit more about all that, whether the hemp oil is good.
Yes.
Good. Good to know.
How we see this and how we will try to explain to you what we are seeing.
Yes.
It may not be how you anticipate us to respond.
Right.
But what we see within your body is heat, fire. This seems contrary to what you would expect, as your fingers and toes appear as though they are cold and need warmth and would prefer to have some fire.
Yes.
But within your physical and energetic body, there is an imbalance of, how we will explain this is so that you can get a visual, there is an imbalance of fire and water. Coming back to our previous conversation about integrating the male and female side of who you are, with the integration of this, you are going to see relief in the physical body. Okay. This is part of your integration. This is part of the oneness that you are becoming. This has been a process going on for quite some time, yet it wasn't in your awareness. Now that it's in your awareness through the receiving of the messages from your ancestors, you are now aware that you are moving through an energetic exchange of your spiritual being. Yes?
Yes.
Following?
Yes.
In a physical sense, this is being met with a certain degree of resistance due to the unawareness of what was going on. As a human being, there is always a certain amount of anxiety or fear around the unknown, yes?
Yes.
Now that you are in a state of awareness from an energetic spiritual level of what is going on and how that is manifesting in the physical sense, you will now be able to move forward in your visionary being, in your physical being, in your emotional being, in such a way that you will be an healing component to your physical body, as opposed to an oppository, taking the oppository position from the lack of understanding. There was a conflict going on, constant resistance from an energetic level, creating friction. What does friction create?
Yes. Heat, yeah.
So, if you are trying to manage heat within the body, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? We're asking.
The heat and cold, the opposites, the polar opposites.
Let's go, yes, but let's go one step further. Fire.
Okay, yes.
You're putting out fire. You're taming that fire. You do this frequently in physical form. What do you do to that fire? You pour?
Or water, yeah.
Therefore, is it safe to assume that perhaps immersing yourself in water more frequently may do the trick, may help release the heat of the physical body?
Yes.
Placing yourself in the feeling state of being immersed in water, of being underneath water, of feeling water on your physical body is enough. We would prefer to see you in water, your feet in water. Place your feet in a tub of water. The temperature that is comfortable for you.
Okay.
Don't think about hot and cold. Think about what feels good. And you will begin to feel the physical release, but you will also begin to start the healing process that needs to be started to move you away from the conflict within, to move you into that avenue of integration. So now you are integrating not just your energetic, physical, male, female side, you are now integrating the physical body. Begin a conversation with the physical body. Begin a three-way conversation. We believe in schizophrenia. We say this lightly. The idea being, you are an conglomeration of different aspects. Your physical being one.
Okay.
From a higher self perspective, from a soul self perspective, you have all these different aspects of who you are, your emotional self, your physical mind self, your feminine side, your male side, although these are also in the non-physical realm, so to speak. So they fall into a slightly different category. Nonetheless, they are part of yourselves. Following?
Yes.
The best way, in our opinion, that humans begin to understand all these aspects of who they are is to develop dialogue from the higher self to these individual aspects. Hello, physical body.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry that you are in distress.
Yes.
We'll fix this. As we begin to understand how you are integrated with all these other aspects of who I am. Right now, there seems to be some miscommunication. Yes, following?
Yes.
Then you do the same with that self that you call your ego. Then you do that self, that integration with your higher self to your emotional self, which falls under, that's overlapping with the ego self. Yet if you separate it out, you will then begin to recognize certain emotions that are represented of the heart, and the emotions that are represented more from the idea of fear, the ego self, right? Following? You begin to integrate your emotional self. And it's through the dialogue amongst the aspects of who you are that you can really maximize the integration into one. Assign roles. We talk about this often. Assign roles. Physical mind, it is not your duty. You do not have to lead the way all the time or ever, really. How about you just sit here in the passenger seat, and when my higher self allows for us to move in a particular direction, I will then call you in to put it all together. That's your role. Physical body, I will physically, through all other aspects of myself, but through the physical self, because it takes a physical self to feed the body, yes?
Yes.
You're giving permission to the physical body to mend itself, to take care of itself with the support of the other aspects. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Is this feeling right to you?
Yes.
Are you feeling the temperature within your core already begin to fluctuate slightly?
Yes.
Yes. This can all be done through utilizing all aspects of the human energetic being. There is not one aspect that is more or less important than the other. It is about recognizing the value in each and allowing each piece and part of you to mold together into a unified creation of who you are, where the physical body is supported, where the physical body is supporting. It takes the physical body to get you to the yoga studio. It takes your physical body to get you to nature. It takes your physical body to allow all aspects of who you are to have soul time, yes?
Yes.
Yes. In regards to your health, you will begin to see changes occur through your diligent behavior in applying what we are saying. You have the means and the knowledge to back this healing process with the knowledge that you carry with you from your ancient history. In other words, utilize the natural medicines that you have access to. Utilize the natural healing practices that you have access to that seem right for you. Utilize the empowerment of your elders as you choose to do. Utilize the power of fire, of water, to neutralize within your physical body. These are all things that you can do without anyone else doing them for you, yes?
Yes.
Does this feel right?
Yes.
Is this helpful?
Yes, very much.
These physical ailments are a temporary representation of the integration that we were talking about. Should you focus on this integration, you will see improvements followed by a complete dissipation of the physical signs that are representing the inner conflicts that are happening right now. We will add that there seems to be a certain degree of resistance to following through on the tests that are available to you, yes?
Yes.
We would encourage you to follow through with these tests for the purpose of having access to the documentation, the X-ray visions of your body that you can then utilize to focus in on to heal. In other words, to learn about that aspect of your body, about that organ and what it represents in the human body, what it represents from a perspective of Chinese medicine, from a perspective of any medicines that you feel the urge to inquire about. Does this make sense?
Yes.
By having a clear visual of your physical body and the seemingly problematic areas, this will bring you further into your understanding of your physical body, yes?
Yes.
Rather than just looking at it as this big thing that walks around and has things that do this and do that, to begin to narrow in on those organs. Why these organs? You will begin to figure these things out for yourself. You will begin to have a better relationship with your spleen, with your toes, with your fingers. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Does this seem odd?
No.
we would also recommend finding a picture of the same organ that is in perfect condition.
Yes.
Then through your meditations, you can transform your organ into an organ that seems to have been undisturbed.
Okay.
By visualizing what one in distress looks like and visualizing what one in non-distress looks like, you can literally recreate your own organ. But you need to get past just the visual and get into the heart-based center to feel yourself as that spleen, for example. To feel what it feels like to be a spleen in distress, and to feel what it feels like to now be this beautiful, clean, pristine spleen. That could be the name of a poem. Yes?
Yes.
It seems a bit odd, yes, we understand. We don't encourage that you walk out the door and tell the person walking down the street that you are now a clean, pristine spleen. But we do wish to confer to you the ability that the human being has to heal oneself using this technique. If you are representing all aspects of who you are no more Bob as a whole than you are the spleen of Bob. Does this make sense?
Yes.
You are all encompassing, therefore you are your spleen, therefore you are your brain, therefore you are your kidneys, therefore you are all of the aspects of who you are. In that mindset, in that notion, why not feel like what it feels like to be a healthy spleen? Right now, there is a lack of integration that is preventing the flow of all aspects of who you are, which creates the resistance, which creates the heat, which creates the fire, which creates the blockages and the boundaries that are preventing you from moving forward in a healthy direction. Exciting, yes?
Very, very much, yes.
Do you feel more inspired, more empowered to find healing within?
Very much so, yeah.
This makes your mother very happy.